Good morning. My name is Mike Evans. By the order of the Secretary of the Navy is reducing its military forces, all first-class petty officers, with a retirement of 22 years, effectively immediately. Retirement will be reduced to 20 years. Individuals in this category have 30 days to retire. This was a message that my command received October 2003. Even though life sometimes hands you some difficulties, if you can pray, fast, believe, and on top of that, have a strong, loving family, you can make it through anything. In my military career, we moved about 4 different times. Today, what I want to talk to you about, I'd like to tell you what it was like to move from government quarters into a rental, into a hotel, and then finally purchasing our home. Those of you that have ever moved understand and know how much of a headache it is to move. All right, we moved from military quarters. When we got ready to move from military quarters, had everything set up, ready to go, got ready to get the truck, and was told that the truck that I needed, we wasn't going to be able to get due to the fact that it was used to go cross country, so they gave us a smaller truck. So once we turned around and we packed that truck and we got to our quarters, we turned around from there and I set up a financial plan for 3 years to try to get out of debt as well as to move into our home. Well, that came to a screeching halt. I got a phone call 2 years within that and was told that we had 60 days to move out of our rental. The individual was moving to Europe and that he was selling all of his homes. Well, from that point there, I sat down and I talked to my wife, and the worst case scenario was going to be that we was going to have to live in a hotel. Knowing that we had to come up with the first and last month deposit, we knew that it was going to cost over $5,000. So our worst case scenario ended up becoming our primary. So we ended up moving into a hotel. Living in the hotel with a family of 6, the first time it was kind of interesting because we had 2 rooms. So everything was nice and comfortable for us. Every month we had to pay out $3,200. So paying $3,200 for the first 2 months ended up depleting our reserves. So we had to move into one room. Now, to give you an idea of what that one room looked like, from this wall here, from this section here over, you had 1 restroom, a little kitchen area, 2 beds, and we had 2 pull-out carts. And that was our room for 9 months. Now, during that time period, my marriage was tested, my faith was tested, my children, they was tested, my wife was tested. I got to the point to where I wanted to sabotage my marriage, to the point where I wanted to tell my wife that I stepped out and had an affair with somebody else so she could leave me because I considered myself at that time a failure. Now, when I hit my lowest point, still today, I don't even know how it happened, who told me. Somebody told me about the first-time homebuyers program. That first-time homebuyers program, we went on and filled out all the necessary paperwork, got everything going, and you can imagine those of you, well, as far as the females that are married, you can understand as far as a husband trying to make the right choices, and so far now you're living in a hotel, there's not too much faith that's there. So I pretty much had to do it on my own. And in the process of doing that, I got some good news. We got the paperwork started. Everything started rolling real smoothly. My wife turned around and took the kids for Thanksgiving and went up to Nevada to visit her family. And just before she got there, we got a call that said that we closed escrow and that the house was ours. The day we moved from the hotel to moving into our home, it was an experience that I'll never forget. Because my older 2 sons, they stayed in school. When they got out of school, they wanted to be able to come home into their new home. My baby girl and my baby boy, we kept them out of school that day. My son, as he was coming down the stairs, and he looked at me and he said, "Dad, is this really our home?" And I said, "Yes, son, it is." That did something to me. And in conclusion, I have to say this. Sometimes you can look at life in the negative, but you really have to see the good that's in it. By moving from military quarters to a rental, into a hotel, into purchasing a home, it was the best thing that could have ever happened to my family. Living in government quarters, I relied totally on the government to pay my rent and my utilities. When I rented a home, I turned around and I was paying somebody else's mortgage and their utilities. When we moved into a hotel, what I found out is that I was just one paycheck away from living in the streets. But when we purchased our home, it gave me the security I always wanted for my family. It took continual prayer and having faith and believing in God to see us through. I'm proud and yet blessed to be a part of my family. We have endured individually as well as collectively, but it has made us stronger. And we as the Evans family know, having a strong and loving family, we can make it through anything. Thank you.